Alright, here we go. It's Thursday. I'll make a good video today. Nothing wrong with any of the other videos I made. Not like those weren't good. But I mean good like I set up the tripod, put the microphone on. I had to charge the microphone. I left the microphone at my friend's house because I thought I would film there that day. And I was there only for a short time. So here we are in the backyard. Sun shining. Heat blazing. Palm trees are dripping. Dripping like rainwater on us now. It's beautiful. Catherine started watering the trees. And they water every day now. That's cool. So today let's talk about the breath. The breath is why I teach yoga. For those of you that don't know, my wife that I was married to for 11 years died in 2021. She was unable to breathe due to COVID, whatever happens when you have that situation. I watched her not be able to breathe. And that was a seriously hard thing to go through, for sure. That definitely changed my perspective of a lot of things. And besides guarding my mind of like, what the heck has happened to my life and my world, my whole world changed, I had to learn how to breathe in a new way. I had experienced new griefs and anxieties that I'd never experienced before. And I would just think about everything, and I thought about what I would want to do, like to teach people, to give them an experience. I used to have a construction company, and I could teach people how to mix concrete, how to put a door in, or how to put a window in, but that only changed their life so much. Like, what if I could teach people how to breathe and like how to have a better life for the rest of their life? Like, their whole eternity was better because they met me, and I showed them how to open up their diaphragm like no one else had ever showed them. So I think that was my own personal assignment to myself. No one asked me to do it. I read a book, and one guy went around the world and studied all these people that had breathing techniques and different breathing styles and ways they breathed, and that made sense to me. I was like, okay, so if I learned how to use my body in a particular way, I could achieve certain things with my breath. And being interested in religion, I'd been raised around the Bible my whole life, and I looked at other religions, but I started looking more into the Eastern religions the older I got. And in those practices, is a meditation is part of the practice. So I had already started meditating a little bit, and then when I learned how to do the breath work with it, I had some like real supernatural experiences for myself, by myself. And I was like, oh, I think I just unlocked some codes to the universe. Like, let me find out, how do you go about helping people with this? So that's how I got to be a yoga teacher. So there's nowhere else you can really teach breath in the world. There's no job for breath teaching. Like, there's no breath school. There's no breath class. There's nowhere you learn how to breathe, like anywhere besides the yoga studio. And so, whether you know that or not, when you come to my class, I'm really just teaching you how to breathe. Every shape we put our body in just changes the spine configuration, which changes the angle of the lungs versus the hips. And like, we're just exercising that diaphragm muscle. It's all angles, pressures, and I had achieved very supernatural states of ecstasy and bliss through my breath. So, how do you become a yoga teacher if you're a contractor? Like, you drive a truck and put a tool belt on. So I started thinking and dreaming. I sold a bunch of my equipment I had in this building. I put a rubber floor in, made a studio space. It was awesome. it was really cool. It was 21 feet by 16 feet was the size of the room. So I don't know how many square feet that is. 300 and something. It was a good sized room. You could do whatever you want in there. I'd had straps hanging from the ceiling. I used to get inverted, hang myself in all different shapes and postures. The Iyengar yoga focuses on straps and props and blocks, so I learned how to suspend my spine. I got taller. I was 6'4" my whole life. People now say I'm 6'5", because I'll stand next to someone that's 6'4", and they're like, "No, I'm 6'4", you're 6'5", and I'm like, "All right, I practice yoga now." So that's just my story. I don't have any idea what's going to happen to you if you start doing this practice. Your lungs hold a key to the next level of your freedom of your life. That's all I could tell you. When you can learn how to still yourself and how to become still in your body, how to breathe into it, into the flesh suit, and then be so in touch with your senses that you can shut them off and just go into the space of where it's you and that other voice that you hear when no one else is talking. And so to find out who that other voice or what it is, you got to go beyond your conscious state. So where we do most of our living is in this conscious state where we can talk and look and see and count and ask questions. And then there's some phases before you fall into a deep sleep where your brain is still pretty active, but your body's not really moving. And so through breathing, we target that space right there where your mind can be at ease, when the body's at ease after the asana practice of warming up the body, creating tapas in the body and the heat, allowing the body to come to a cooling rest in the savasana corpse shape, laid out as to die to oneself in this shape. You have nothing left to give. You die to yourself, you meditate. Naturally, the body goes into a state of meditation and you can feel sensations that you may have never felt. That's what some people claim that try it, and people keep coming back for thousands of years in all different countries, in all different ways, in all different languages. They've been practicing this ancient Vedic art. So I was trained in the 8-limb path. We do other things besides the asana. One of them is just simply a mindfulness practice, dharnya. Just simply looking and being with nature, being quiet, being with your thoughts, being with the tree. If you're inside, being with the candle, being with the window shade, whatever it is you're looking at right now, being one with it. And being at ease, releasing all the tension, letting the shoulders fall away from the ears, come into a place of rest. And when you can naturally come into a place of rest and breathe and lower your heart rate down, when you get the heart rate down to 4 beats per minute, some magical things start to occur in the brain. They usually happen when the eyes are closed. So if you notice now how your heartbeat is going slower, simply by the sound of my voice. These are some of the techniques used. And simply like that, with the sound of my voice slowing it down, your heart rate went down. You're able to relax, be at ease, and then accompanied with the movement practice before the meditation. The sensation that occurs behind your eyelids is quite phenomenal. Sometimes people practice different types of yoga. This Kriya yoga doesn't involve any movement at all. You just sit there and think. Or don't think. You could just sit. So like the cat is over there, I could just sit here and be doing yoga. That's yoga. So there's so many different ways to do it. When you're in the supermarket and you stand in Tadasana, when you're just standing there and your body is straight and you're engaged and you're breathing and you're rooted down through your toes and your heels and you're feeling your feet on the earth and your hands are at ease and your back and spine and your hips are all square. That's yoga. Crown of the head to the ceiling, and like you're conscious of your body shape and how it's reacting with you and all the one thing around you. That is also yoga. Being kind to someone in the parking lot when they want to get the parking spot is yoga also. So there's many ways to be at ease with yourself and make things around you better just simply by just being an observer of your senses. You're not pushing anything. You're not trying to manipulate or move anything in a particular fashion or way that it doesn't want to go. You're just being one with the current, being at ease, being with flow. And so if you find yourself far away from that and you find yourself stressed out and you feel like your nerves are shot and you drink coffee all day and you feel like you could use a time to relax and unwind, that's also what this practice provides. So on the restorative end, there's some types of yoga that we do 4 to 6 postures throughout the whole hour, shapes where we put our body in a very relaxful state, oftentimes with props and blankets and blocks, so the spine is in a neutral resting position, even if it's sideways. We want to relax the spine, give it a chance to unwind, feel our natural body decompress, and then have a nice meditative session. So some of the yoga practices involve movement. The morning classes, the midday classes, you're going to do a lot more movement. And then the evening classes will be restorative or yin yoga, where you may not even get off the mat. You probably are just going to be laying on the mat or sitting on the mat the whole time, never standing up one time. So many different practices. I will try to do more of these interactive videos with like descriptions and what it is the actual practice involves. Not just reach into the sky with 2 hands and putting your hands in prayer position. It involves that too. But what does it mean to be a yogi? So it'll take you a few years to just start eating bowls of rice. Trust me, I've had that diet. But it's a beautiful life. Definitely not for everybody, but it is something I choose and I love to do. So if I can just teach one more person how to breathe a little more effectively and give them more vitality just through that simple practice, that's what I'm here for. So I hope to meet you in person. I love you all. Bless up to the Most High. One love.